Welcome dear students to Computer Studies Standard 9 English Medium. Chapter number 5. This is part 1 video. The name of the chapter is Introduction to Operating System. Now here you can see the logo of an operating system which is very famous, that is Windows. Another operating system which is there in your course, that is Ubuntu. This is the logo of Ubuntu. Now before I continue teaching, one thing I would like to say is this chapter is little bit difficult, but I have tried my level best to make it easy and understandable. So let's begin. Now, even though CPU is the brain of the computer, it can do simple operations like adding two numbers, multiplying two numbers, etc., but cannot do much more. Now, from the childhood, you have been taught that CPU is the brain of the computer, central processing unit, right? Yeah, it's brain. But then too, it's just capable of doing simple things. To do any more simple things too, it needs a series of instructions. Okay, just simply purchasing a PC without installing operating system, without installing programs, it's useless. It can't do anything more. Even simple operations like input of a number or output of a number or converting a string of characters to uppercase or lowercase or displaying an image on the screen must be built on the top of these basic capabilities by writing a series of basic instructions. Now see, this word instructions is used many times by the textbook author. In my previous video also I had already explained you what is the meaning of instructions, but once more I am telling you, don't get confused my dear. Instructions means nothing but program. Okay. For example, if there is no program installed in the computer, your computer will not work. It needs basic series of instructions, right? So instructions is programs. Operating system is also made up of so many instructions. That means to do any simple things too, it needs a series of instructions. Now textbook has made this thing little bit difficult, but in simple words if I try to explain you, then a simple computer will not be of any use until and unless you install an operating system in it, okay, and then install the required programs. Also the computer has a large number of peripheral devices like keyboard, mouse, monitor, hard disk, optical disk, printers and other removable devices. Operating these devices requires executing a long and complex series of basic instructions. Means these all devices you just simply fix with the computer, it may not work. Each and every hardware requires a supporting software in it. For example, if you purchase a new printer, then you will have to install the drivers of that printer. Okay, so like that way it is. Then modern days computer system has a variety of resources like CPU, memory, secondary storage devices, network, peripheral devices, etc. These resources are accessed by multiple programs simultaneously. Now see, computer has got all these things, right? So many things are connected with it, CPU and memory and storage device and network and so many things, right? And so many programs are installed inside it. Now, all the programs are using this hardware simultaneously. For example, you can see the video which is played in a video player, VLC player or any other player. At the same time, the monitor could also be used by Microsoft Word. It also can display the output, right? So like that way it is. Another example, for example, if you want to give a print order from Excel, Microsoft Excel, you can give. You can also give print order simultaneously from Microsoft Word also. So like this way, there are so many hardwares and so many programs are using all of them simultaneously. So obviously there is they need some authority that regulates access of these resources. For example, if two programs gives the printing order at a time, then what should the printer do? It will get confused. Should it print both the things on the single page? No. So there should be an authority who will control all these things. So who is that authority? Operating system. For example, in a school, there is a principal who operates the whole school. In a country, there is government who operates the thing, who regulates the thing. Okay. So a computer without any software for doing above type of work is useless, because it may not have even basic interface to interact with the user. What is the meaning of interface? What is the meaning of interaction? Do you know? If you don't know, I will explain you. In order to provide a consistent experience to the user, there needs to be a common framework for the human-computer interaction. Now I will explain you what is written in these two paragraphs. Thus, we need an operating system to do all this work. I will explain you. See, in the computer, everything is stored in 0 and 1 as it is given here, right? Can the user understand what is written in zeros and 1? Can we understand? No. So how is this thing communicated? These zeros and ones, how will it get transferred to us? It will get transferred on the monitor or to us using the operating system, right? Once we install the operating system, we will not see ones and zeros and so many things. So operating system transfers it to the user, and whatever user types is again transferred back to the computer and stored it in the form of zeros and 1. So this is the role of operating system, remember. All those who are new on my channel, please do subscribe the channel so that you don't miss any updates, and thereafter continue watching the video. Also, please hit the like button if you like the video. Fine, now what is an operating system? So I don't like to explain the simple things in complex language. Simple, I have shown you the logo here. Windows is an operating system, Android is an operating system, Apple is an operating system. Am I right? So these all are operating systems. Now according to the textbook definition which is given is, an operating system is the controller, resource allocator and common service provider for a computer system. Like the government, it performs these functions to ensure smooth and mostly trouble-free operation of the computer. So as we discussed just now, the operating system is controller of all these resources. Resources means all the hardwares, softwares, everything. Who controls it? Operating system. Who allocates the resource? Operating system. Who provides the common service? Operating system. Okay, it is like a government who does all this works properly. Now the last topic of this video is the startup process of a computer. What is the startup process? When you press the power button and the computer starts, it doesn't start like a tube light, or it doesn't start like a fan. It takes some time in loading, right? So why does it take that much time in loading the thing? That is known as booting process or startup process, which is explained here. Now when we supply power to the computer and press the power button, okay, here is the power button. When we press the power button, then what happens? The power is first supplied to the CPU, okay, who is the brain of the computer. Power is supplied to the CPU. What does the CPU do? CPU initializes itself by bringing all its subcomponents in a known and ready to use state. So what does the CPU do? First of all, it wakes up. Since it was sleeping, so it wakes up. Another thing, all the components which you can see around the CPU, the hardwares. So CPU sends a signal to all of them and check whether they are in ready to use state or not. If it is not in a ready to use state, it will send a error message. Otherwise, it will continue the further process. Fine. Now, it is like a vehicle whose ignition has been turned on and is ready to be driven. But where is the driver? What is the meaning of driver? The instructions to be executed by the CPU, that is the operating system, right? So now CPU has done its all work. So now the turn will come of the operating system to do the further work. So we will see that. The computer has a permanent type of memory called ROM, R-O-M, ROM. In previous chapter I have explained this topic in detail. So on the personal computer it is also known as ROM BIOS. BIOS means basic input output system, or sometimes it's also known as simply BIOS. Okay. BIOS contains an internal program called post means full form is power on self test. So post performs a basic check of all other components and peripheral devices in the computer and initializes them so that they are ready for use. If you have noticed one thing, when you press the power button, after few seconds your mouse, there will be a small blink, it will blink. Then on the keyboard above the numeric keys there is small light that will also blink. So what is that thing? Now BIOS is checking everything and it is bringing the peripheral devices into ready to use state. So it is sending a signal, okay, and then going ahead. Hence, now the next step in this sequence is to locate the operating system from the hard disk. Now the work of CPU is over, the work of BIOS is over, and now is the work of the operating system. Operating system loads itself into the memory and starts executing itself. Now see, till now operating system we all know is installed in local disk C, am I right? Okay, now loading of operating system means what? In the previous chapter I had taught you about RAM, okay, random access memory or RAM, which is temporary memory which works on electric power supply, right? So now operating system loads itself in the RAM, okay, it opens itself. In simple words, if I say, it opens itself in the RAM. In the hard disk, in C drive, it was lying dead, it was sleeping, now it wakes up. Once the operating system is loaded, it takes the control of the entire computer. Now CPU, ROM BIOS, nobody has to do anything. Now all the control is in the hands of the operating system. This entire system is known as booting process. Okay, hope the concepts are clear. And here we complete this video. Certainly if you like the video, please hit the like button, and since some of the things are little bit hard, so you may watch the video again, or the part of the chapter which you have not understood, that you can watch again. Thank you.